Hi everyone, I'm your host Alina Ali, and again welcome to Voice of Australians Ikigai with Alina. Just again emphasizing the concept of Ikigai, that it is the reason which makes us being alive, the reason we wake up every morning, the motivation behind that, the reason which always keeps us disciplined. And today we are with Umair Jaliawala, who is an inspiration for many of us. Hi, Umair, how are you?
Hi,
Umair, can you
Lina.
hear me now?
I'm sorry, I'm struggling to hear you. All right, this is broken.
Okay. You can't hear me?
Can you hear me fine?
Yes, I can hear you. No, you can't. Do you want to go back and come back?
No, it's magnetized, it's broken.
Okay, just go. You can
No, I
leave
can't.
and come
I'm
back.
so sorry. Maybe I can try.
Um,
It's very strange. I'm seeing you fine on the mobile, but you're not fine
yes.
on the StreamYard.
Do you want to join from the phone video?
How do we fix this?
Okay. Uh, Video, phone.
Let me just try another browser, please.
Sorry, there is some technical issue going on. So, Umair Jaliawala will join us soon. Okay, so I was introducing Umair Jaliawala. So we are back. Hopefully, Umair Jaliawala will return soon. So I was introducing Umair Jaliawala. He's an inspiration for all of us. He's an inspirational speaker, and the co-founder of a founder of Talk Group. We are still waiting for Umair Jaliawala to join soon. In the meantime, let me just see what we are doing and outline what we are focusing on today. Hi, Umair, you are back. Hopefully, he would be back soon. So today our topic is today our topic. Hi, Umair, you are back.
Hi, Lina. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You can hear me? No. Can you join from phone? No. Can you join from phone?
No,
Phone.
it's just not working. I can't
Oh,
hear you fine. I can see myself fine. Let me try from my other device. Let's give that a shot.
Hello. Hopefully, Umair would be able to hear me soon. Sorry, technical things happen. Okay, let me just introduce to our
Does
topic.
does this work?
Yes, can you hear me now?
I can, yes.
Perfect. That's what life is. Life is never fair. It always give us lemons. We have to squeeze them, make the most of it. So that should be the ikigai of everyone's life to work with in different scenarios. So that's
Yeah,
okay.
of life is like that.
So, Umair, I have introduced you in your absence. I have taken the liberty to introduce you that you are inspiration for all of us. You are. I have been hearing you since I was in Pakistan, and you always motivated me. You are so much inspiration for all of us.
Thank you.
How
Very
are you
kind.
today?
Thank you. You're very kind. I'm in Gilgit, and sorry for my connectivity issues here.
No, that's okay. We have all lived in Pakistan in who are from Pakistan. So we totally understand. Even in Australia, sometimes technical glitch happens. So that's okay. So today I got really excited when you chose the topic of mind because it's so much related to my show Ikigai. Because mentally we always set the reason of our being, what we are here to do, and so many people usually ask me
Mhm.
um, what what is the power of mind, why you are doing the things that you are doing. So I'm not sure if you know, but I did ultra marathon on weekend. So I ran so much, and um, people thought that, is it why are you mentally gifted, or sometimes there are some people who achieve like so much. So what do you think, Omer? Are they are is there anything like born with a great IQ, having a mental efficacy of which no one has, or it is developed over time? What do you think? What mind is?
Yeah, very interesting. Like you shared your story. So there's a story that precedes this run. Alina was born, and when Alina was born, her mind wasn't developed fully. And until you're 22, your mind is developing, as research tells us. And what is this mind? Mind basically आपका thinking function है, how you perceive the world, how you decide on things, what you choose to do, and what is also happening on its own. And that itself is a big philosophical and psychological dive, to see what's happening and why is it happening, the subconscious, the unconscious, or the psychology, our survival mode and our calm mode. So um, I wouldn't say that everybody who's running is running for good. Sometimes the run itself is running away from what matters, and those are the games of the mind. And in today's social media world, where we are constantly getting a whole lot of information and very little time for our own mind, I picked this topic. So yeah, we're going to talk about this. As far as your question about what we are born with, I do think there is a lot of strength in the seed, and but we don't know for sure what all the seed includes. The seed can determine your height, the seed can determine your organs, how they function, the diseases you might have. But on top of it, there is a certain uniqueness to every human being. The way they look at the world, the way the entire world is our own subjective reality. And so I do think there is uniqueness in the seed. There is no other Alina, there is no other Umair, and we've got to honor that. But on top of that, there is a whole lot of, if I call the seed nature, then there is a whole lot of nurture. नर्चर ये है कि उस सीड को किस माहौल में डाला है, राइट? वो ऑस्ट्रेलिया के माहौल में डाला है, वो पाकिस्तान के माहौल में डाला है, वो कुछ लोगों के लिए अब्यूज़ का माहौल होता है, बहुत ट्रामेटाइजिंग माहौल होता है, कुछ लोगों के लिए बहुत लिबरेटिंग होता है, कुछ लोगों के लिए फाइनेंशियली कंस्ट्रेंट होता है, कुछ लोगों के लिए पैसा ही पैसा होता है. All of that is going to work on the seed. Um, and as we develop our consciousness, जैसे जैसे अलीना बड़ी होंगी, तो फिर अलीना फैसले भी कर पाएंगी. फिर सिर्फ माहौल नहीं है, फिर अलीना के अपने फैसले हैं, अपनी choices हैं, and eventually those choices will take over as to what happens to the seed. You can have the worst of the mahal and a very powerful Alina emerge out of it. Or you can have, the worst of the mahal and even, um, a bitter Alina who would create worst off for others. So that's where, the choice matters. And therefore, we've got to be in control, got to take charge of what's happening here, firstly, and then be able to see whether we'd like to change that or life continues, things continues as they are.
So, Umair, continuing this, you raise a very important question, which everyone knows, like everyone wants to ask you. How can we take control of the mind? How can we change? Because then people, there are two types of people in the world. Just like you said, there can be worse scenarios, worse system, and then a really powerful seed can come. And other on the other side, there are people who always victimize themselves कि मेरे साथ ये हुआ तो मैं ये नहीं कर सकता या नहीं कर सकते. So how to take charge, how to take control of the mind? Are there like formula, chemicals? कैसे कर सकते हैं हम?
Take a deep breath. That's the easiest. You take a deep breath, and if you work on your breath, the mind is able to cut on the monkey mind of it. There is a if you understand mind, तो mind को तुम break कर सकती हो, और उसमें एक automated हिस्सा है जो खुद से हुए जा रही हैं, चीज़ें मुसलसल हो रही हैं, जैसे अभी भी हो रही हैं, और हमारी आदतें हैं. दूसरा हिस्सा हमारा है जब हम थ्रेट में होते हैं, और तीसरा हिस्सा है जब हम काम होते हैं. सो पहला तो ये कि डीप ब्रेथ, and just gain thought awareness. Pause for a second and develop the observer, and by develop the observer, I mean get in touch with that observer who you really are. There is this mind, but there is this Alina who can see what's happening in the mind. So जो भी चल रहा है, मिसाल के तौर पे मुझे डर लग रहा है, मेरा ये करने का दिल चाह रहा है, अच्छा मैं परेशान हूँ, या मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा, whatever it is, उसको पकड़ो. और उसको जब तुम पकड़ोगी, तो it's like a river flowing. Your thoughts are like a river, and you can very calmly see the river flowing. Thoughts come and go.
Yeah.
So that's another way. You could have a ritual, uh, and some people use religious rituals, for example. They can calm you and they can put you in a state which would allow you to then decide on to what is happening and how do you want to respond to that. um, Work out your physiology. Our emotions are tied to our body. Emotions happen in the theater of the body, and they just don't happen. If we change things in this theater, we'll change the emotional states, and that's what you do when you're running. You effectively feel different things in that run, and so do you when you are in the gym or when you're doing the yoga, or many other such practices. Do you, all religions also have some physical aspect. Their rituals demand you to change something physically, and that is changing you emotionally. Also, we have some nice things that we have learned as human beings. We shake hands instead of being shut. We hug each other. We as simple as like you have a beautiful, wonderful smile, and your smile determines your level of happiness. So bigger the smile, more the happiness.
Oh wow.
And some people just can't smile, and so our physiology, and then lastly your chemicals. Of course, we are not just the physical, we're also chemicals inside, and what we eat also determines our moods. मैं कहता हूँ पाकिस्तान में कि कुछ आप जरा मसालेदार चीजें छोड़ें ताकि आपका मूड बेहतर हो. इतने तिक्के बोटियां खाते हैं फिर. Yeah, when there is, whenever our food is affecting, and our food definitely affects what we are feeling in the body, what's happening in the body, and whenever that's not happening fine, it affects our state. Somebody who's not well physically will show it emotionally as well, or will show it in the mental function as well. इसी तरीके से हम अपने खाने के साथ और केमिकल्स जो लेते हैं उसका भी हमारे ऊपर इफेक्ट होता है. कुछ लोगों की केमिकल्स की आदत होती है. देयर इज सब्सटेंस अब्यूज, देयर इज nicotine, there is food addictions, many kinds. People are having time of their life, having a liter of Coke in a day. So it's going somewhere, all that sugar, all that rush, and it makes you feel a lot of different things. I speak a lot. So, yes, these are the things that can help you take control. And just altering any of these, picking up any of these will help you um, uh, make this work differently. But firstly, bring it to awareness.
Thank you so much because you speak a lot, but you speak so much valid points. So मैंने इतना पढ़ के काश मैंने इतनी सारी बुक्स नहीं पढ़ी होती और आपके साथ डिस्कशन कर लिया होता तो मुझे सारे अपने क्वेश्चंस के आंसर मिल जाते. Because I really like the way you mentioned the concept of monkey mind. As I said, मैंने उस पर इतनी सारी बुक्स पढ़ के मुझे monkey mind के बारे में समझ में आया. Then you emphasize the concept of dopamine, endorphins. Like हमारे endorphins और dopamine के लिए या serotonin जो happy chemicals होते हैं, लोग पिज्जा, बर्गर, चीज और सब्सटेंस अब्यूज से भी आपको वो केमिकल्स मिल जाते हैं. वो फेक केमिकल्स होते हैं. Rather than you can exercise, you can spend time, quality time with your loved one, और उससे आपको happy chemicals मिल सकते हैं. So the choice is yours at the end of the day. And again, as you said, the power is within you. The choice you have to make. You have to be mindful what you are making. But Umair, and I suffer from this a lot. That's why it's my question. So sometimes, when even I want to go for a run, या मुझे बहुत चीजें करनी होती है, तो I feel like मेरे दो माइंड में से एक मे बी इविल माइंड और एक एंजल माइंड निकल के बाहर आते हैं. एंड वन इज मोटिवेटिंग मी, नहीं यू हैव टू गो, बट द अदर वन इज लाइक प्रोक्रेस्टिनेटिंग. तो जो एंजलिक और इविल वो माइंड के साथ भी होता है बिकॉज गॉड इज विद इन यू, तो हम चॉइस बना सके. सो एट दैट टाइम जब हमारे पास टू चॉइसेस होती हैं and we know what is the right thing, so do you know how can we not procrastinate and go what we really want to do at that time?
What you have said can be summarized this way, and it's also the physical manifestation, physical formation of the mind. ये जो हिस्सा है ये जानवरों का नहीं होता. आगे about the skull. This is our evolution, and this is what makes us human. This gives us all the amazing human faculties, critical thinking, creativity, all the great behaviors, and the great mind that you're saying, and God inside you, like the philosopher would say, is this, right? It's this. But inside it is the lizard brain. This is our primitive most. This is what just wants to survive and do nothing else. So it will do
Okay.
just, and it can give you remarkable reasoning. Why not to go for the run? Why not to pray? Why not to study? It can, all it wants is not to do that thing. How to avoid it. So don't do it today, and it may not be needed tomorrow, is how this function thinks, right? So, two ways how you can control this. Very easy. Number one, ask questions. Asking questions to yourself is a conscious function. When you ask consciously, the conscious is activated. This one doesn't have answers to our questions, it fails. For example, so how will this behavior help? If I'm like this every day, and I have been like this the last 2 weeks, what's going to happen? And if I'm like that another 5 years, what's going to happen then? So work with yourself with questions. And number two, give commands. You can tell yourself, come on, chin up, हो जाता है, कोई नहीं है, चलो, अभी करना है. आप जिस जब इस मोड को एक्सपीरियंस करती हैं तो आप देखती हैं इफेक्टिवली सारी रेजिस्टेंस टूट जाती है. All the reasons fall flat. So ask questions and give commands. The subconscious will subscribe to it.
You are so right. I think now I can so much relate to it because on Saturday I was at 35-kilometer run and I felt like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I was feeling I have to give up. This is my threshold. I can't go anymore. So I literally, there was 5 seconds. I'm like, okay, I have to quit at the next stop because I can't quit in between, right? I had to quit at checkpoint. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go to the checkpoint and then I'll quit. But when I said, okay, let's at least go to the checkpoint, I think second wave hit me in that meantime. And when I went to checkpoint, I was like, okay, because when you do something, your brain is like, ask you to keep going that. If you procrastinate, it always recommends you to procrastinate. If you move, it always gives you commands to move. कभी लोग बोलते हैं जिम जाना हमारे लिए मुश्किल होता है, बट हम जिम जाते हैं तो वी कैन वर्क आउट, राइट? हम लोग अगर 5 मिनट के लिए सोच के जाते हैं तो वी कीप वर्किंग आउट, हमें 1 घंटा हो जाता है, पता नहीं चलता. एंड द सेम थिंग, अगर आप कोई चीज प्रोक्रेस्टिनेट कर रहे होते हो तो आप हमेशा पूरा बेड पे बैठे रहते हो, लेकिन फिर आप जब करना स्टार्ट करते हो तो इट्स नॉट दैट हार्ड, राइट? सो आई कैन टोटली रिलेट टू इट के यू हैव टू बी कॉन्शियस. कमांड के हाँ हो जाता है. सो
Can I add to the complexity here?
yeah,
Uh,
sure.
yeah, so the Alina who stops running, there's an Alina who is stopped running, and there's an Alina who sees her stop running and also listens to her reasons and is able to say what needs to be done. That's the real Alina. She was there long before this adventure on Earth, and she's gonna be there long after here. That's who you really are. Because this physical is gonna fall away, but the
Yes.
heart, the mind function will fall flat.
Hmm.
We have a mind, we are not our minds.
Yeah, so right, so
We
right.
are here,
Now,
we are here, we are not from here.
hmm,
And so there's a part of you that's also fighting with your body. If you ask somebody to show liberty, they're going to be like this. And yet they can't stretch to the fullest. Here
hmm,
is Dr. Wayne Dyer's interpretation to it. It
hmm,
is your spirit which does not understand space because it's infinite, but it's trapped into this physical body of yours. And like
right.
there is a limitation to your physical sense, there is a limitation to your mind. And therefore, effectively, like when I come to the mountains, my mind stops, my monkey mind stops. I'm like, what is this breathtaking moment? That's where the mind has stopped. All inspiration is where the mind chat, everything has fallen. And you're one with whatever there is ahead of, in front of you. And we are truly that. So, just to add to the complexity, there is an Alina, that's the ego Alina. I'm the
Yeah.
runner, I'm the host, I'm the, you know, but you're none of that. You
Hmm.
have learned to be all of this, and you will learn a lot more things, but you're none of this.
So, Umair, where is the stop? Where the ego stop, or where we find that ultimate inner peace in our mind? What do you think?
Sorry, I missed the first part of the question.
So I'm asking, where is the stop? As in, where we feel like we are contented, our mind is contented. For example, when I started, I have iron deficiency, right? So when I started running, I was never thinking that I would do half marathon, let alone ultra marathon. But when I did 5K, I'm like, okay, let's do 10K. Then I did 10K, I'm like, let's do sorry, half marathon. And I was thinking to do marathon, but I ended up doing ultra marathon. Now I'm thinking of 100K. So always, not just me, everyone is like, what's next thing? So where does everything, where we can get satisfaction, where we can get inner peace of our mind?
It's a hard one to answer. And
So
the
sorry.
only one is comes from the creator himself. That's the domain that he controls. मैंने दिलों का सुकून in very clear words. Because mind, material, you see, mind, all that you're saying is to do with the material here.
Yeah.
What all are you going to build? What all are you going to achieve? How many followers? It's all material, right?
Hmm.
But our spirit like I told you in the earlier question, is not material, and it does not honor the material world's quest. So the material world wants to collect. There is no satisfaction in collecting, but there is
Hmm.
100% satisfaction in giving even the 0.5% away. Now, giving is, ego does not want to give. Ego wants to
Hmm.
win. Ego wants to achieve. Ego wants to collect. The billionaires of the world, the topmost, the first, and the spirit is works in the opposite way. So look at the spiritual needs and work on them. That's where you will find satisfaction. So bowing down, for example, the mind does not like, but the spirit loves. मिलता है क्या नमाज में सजदे में जाके देख. Right, there's
Yeah.
also a yoga posture which is the same. All religions have a bow down in many ways. In fact, the best cultures bow down even to people. Amazing, right? An American wouldn't, an Australian wouldn't, a Japanese would. Fascinating.
Yeah.
How does that
And
make a difference to the society and to what they create? So, and the satisfaction that they experience,
hmm.
right? So the spiritual needs, more such spiritual needs are winning together. Our spirit wants to take along. It does not want to win on its own, and it's also aligned with the giving part. And lastly, growing. Growing is where you will find a lot of satisfaction. If you've ever grown plants, if you've grown your own hair, grown into something, grown a little startup or a business, whatever it is. We love the idea. We are cut out for it. Spirit loves to grow, loves to contribute. So that's where you will find a lot of satisfaction. And if you want to do an easy check, look at the people who keep learning. You'll find them joyous, and you'll find them like magnets. And look at the people who keep giving. That's a different energy that flows out of them. And on the other side are the people who want the ranks and who want to collect. And those are not the people who get very genuine friends at the end of the day, or advice, or legacy. um, so yeah, grow and contribute.
You are so right. Like learning, growing, contributing is so much important. Like you get so much satisfaction even if you give 50 cents to a child. So it's, you can't describe it, the happiness that they get. And it's just out of this world. And which bring me to the last question, because it's a ritual in my show. Whoever comes, they have to share the ikigai of their life, the reason that keeps them alive, the reason they wake up in the morning. So, Umair, what's your ikigai of your life?
Yeah, what I do, just the fact that I get an opportunity to meet people and to add value. Might connect with most of the people that I meet, and then keep connecting with is what grows both of us, all of us. And that's what I like. And I'm glad that I picked this because it gives me a lot of joy and doesn't feel like work. It feels like a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle with purpose. um, so so yeah, that's what it is.
Wow. So, Umair, okay, said that it was last question, but now I get again people asking me this question. So I want to ask on behalf of them. You are lucky that your ikigai is paying you. I think one of my followers commented when I said about something ikigai, that you are lucky that your ikigai is paying you, but not everyone get chance for to work in the field they are passionate about. So what message would you give to them?
Firstly, to really validate whether you made whether you arrive at this conclusion, how. Because most of us are beliefs, most of us have very limiting beliefs, limited perceptions, and so we end up believing, okay, so I can't do this can't happen. And so my first question is, really, like, really. So look around, and in today's times where we really can earn from things that just 20 years ago we couldn't think of, I really, really think that there is a limiting belief there. If not, you can find something close by. You can
Hmm.
come close to it. If you couldn't fly, there is a whole lot of aviation business. Air Force needs other kinds of professions as well, and you could be co-flying. You could be with it. That's again, I think it gives you that thrill. And most work is done in teams, by the way. Most great work needs people coming together, and they could share that passion. And lastly, um, why don't you do what you do really, really well so that you make good money and then
Hmm.
you're able to do these other things as well? In fact, why don't you do it so well that in the next 5 years, you have to get out of this rut of making a salary every month of your life and
Yes.
have so many choices, and all
And
those
you are so
will,
right.
and I don't have to give you those choices. I used to earlier, and now I don't like doing that. I just
Hmm.
like people changing their state, looking at their life from outside it,
Yeah.
and forgiving themselves. It's okay. Things happen, but chinning up and saying, "This is how it's gonna be from now on." And I know you know the way. Nobody else has to tell you the way. Maybe you need some validation, so have good friends, maybe a coach, counselor, but don't give up on your passion. Don't give up on your dreams. It means something to you, and if you do that, I'm telling you, there'll be a lot of purpose. Money will follow. A lot of love will follow. Uh, and yeah, that's what better adventure.
Thank you so much, Umair, for insights, for giving us your time. And it was so much helpful, even for me sitting over here. The like in just half an hour and 32 minutes, you have given us so much information, knowledge that we can't. As I said, I have read so many books, but I wish I would have communicated to you before. So thank you so much for giving your time. And yeah,
You. Like Bible says, everything happens in its own time.
yes,
Everything
that's right.
brings it and
Thank you so
everything.
much.
Khuda Hafiz.
Khuda Hafiz. Allah Hafiz.